I really enjoyed rewatching the first Poltergeist film, and I don't think I'd ever seen the second one. So I've watched this for what I consider to be the first time, and I have to say it's generally a pretty decent film. Poltergeist 2, The Other Side, was released in 1986. This is directed by Brian Gibson, written by Michael Grais and Mark-Victor, and we have a cast including Heather O'Rourke, and we have Julian Beck as Reverend Henry Kane, and I'll talk about him in a moment. And the family have moved house after the events of the first film, as one probably would. And I'm pleased they stuck with the same family. I really like the family. I think they work really well. I really like Carol Ann as a character. So that for me was a really great decision. And the spirit of Henry Kane is going after them. But he's presented in human form. He looks like a human. And I have to say, the character is just absolutely fabulous. I really love the character. I love the way he presents himself. The performance there from Julian Beck is absolutely fantastic. And I love the character so much. The events of the film are maybe not overly exciting. It took a little while for me to get into the story, but the execution is generally okay. As with the first film, it's quite funny. Some of the spooky things that happen are just a little rough around the edges and a little funny, and I don't know if they're meant to be funny, but certainly watching it today, it's quite amusing. And we do have some spooky moments. We have some really fun, gruesome moments that are an absolute joy. We have some really fun special effects. The music's really good. The narrative works well, but for me, it was definitely the character of Kane that made this a really good film, because he is, I don't want to meet him in a dark alley, put it that way. He's quite sinister, but I couldn't look away from him. There was just something about him that was just absolutely fantastic. And in general, I had a lot of fun with it. I thought it was a really fun story. Definitely well executed for the most part. As I said, took me a little time getting into it, but I'd say certainly after the first third, it really picked up and became a really fun story once they'd established everything and it was clear where things were going. Clear in the sense that I knew what the premise was, not clear in the sense that it was predictable. Would I say it's predictable? Not necessarily. No, I don't think so. I don't think it's a predictable film. There are certain aspects that maybe we could see coming that the characters themselves couldn't, because obviously we know more about Kane than the family does, at least to a small extent. And I think that definitely helps to build up a bit of suspense as well. And in general, I don't have any complaints. Little slow to begin with, but generally a great film, a decent sequel. And while I'd say the first film is maybe slightly stronger in terms of being a better story, I think Kane as a character is a stronger antagonist, a stronger driving force, and I think that worked really well. I have no real complaints. Poltergeist 2 was a lot of fun, not scary, but definitely some eerie moments with a really strong character in Kane. Really great performances across the board. Definitely quite a fun film, and if it sounds like a film for you, then needless to say, I'd say after watching the first film, the second film is definitely worth checking out.